This preview of the ABSA Off-Road Championship is proudly presented by ABSA. For fast, flexible vehicle finance, contact your nearest ABSA branch or call 0860 669 669 or visit absa.co.za. There has been a major shake-up in the production vehicle category of the ABSA Off-Road Championship. With retirements, new vehicles, a shift in focus to Class D and E, and performance restrictors the order of the day. Veterans Arpi Reinecker and Kasi Coetzee have retired from competition. Toyota has shifted its focus from Class T to Classes D and E, with a new driver lineup, and performance restrictors have been introduced in the production vehicle category, only in an effort to limit speeds, improve safety, and reduce running costs. Reinecker has retired from the Castrol Toyota team after 28 years of off-road competition and can proudly claim to be the most successful driver in the history of the sport after winning 9 championships and dozens of races over the years. While Coetzee spent much of his long career racing a variety of Toyotas in which he too won many races. On the factory front, Toyota has decided to contest Class D and E only and will field 2 Castrol Toyota Hilux 2.7i models in Class D for reigning Class E champions Mark Grenier and Chris Birkin and Paolo Piazza Musso and Rod Herring, and 2 vehicles in Class E with former Rotax Max World Champion Gavin Grenier and Robin Houghton in a Hilux 2.7i and Zane Pierce and Henny Vosloo in a Hilux KZTE.
Toyota's new strategy for the off-road championship is to get more value for money. We can run more vehicles for less money than it would require for Class T. And we want to prove that standard production vehicles can do the job, other than very highly modified vehicles. You buy a brand new bakkie off the line out of a dealer showroom, pay a lot of money for it, and then you start stripping it. Because quite a large number of the components are throwaway. The load body, the doors, the fenders, the bonnet are all fiberglass. So that goes waste. And in this method, we ordered just the parts that we required to build up a bakkie, and we started to build it up from scratch. Started off with a bare chassis, put the roll cage on, and then built the cab around that, which makes it easier to build the roll cage. And then from there, we assembled it with all the parts that we required, so we have no waste.
Well, I think it's a very great opportunity. Thank you to Toyota South Africa for giving me this opportunity. I'm sure that I'll bring a lot of experience to the team. I've got 2 young sort of teammates. Yeah, the experience that I gained with the Jeep in off-road racing, I'm sure I can put a lot of that back into the team. And also the experience I had in rallying. Rallying at the end of the day is a lot more specialized, a lot more refined, but at the end of the day it's still an off-road formula. And I'm sure I can bring all of that back to the team. And we want to look forward, like Mark said, to the development of the bakkie and of the team as such.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really good season. I'm looking forward to the Ford as well. There's going to be some good competition. Paolo coming in, some good old blood coming into it again. And I think the game's going to be raised quite a bit. But I think, again, it's all about strategy at the end of the day and looking after your equipment. So we'll see at the end of the day, the best man wins. My brother's a top-class driver. He always has been. So I'm looking forward to the game's going to be stepped up considerably. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that element of it. I think I'm looking forward to the test side of things, working with him and Paolo, the experience. I think we can develop a very good vehicle between the 3 of us.
New on the block, new change of scenery for me. So, been wanting to do it for a long time. Karting, I've sort of got to the top of karting, some single-seater experience, and now jumping into the off-road. Like I say, change is as good as a holiday. So I'm going to get out there and get the job done.
And how have you prepared yourself for this new experience?
Well, I've prepared myself as much as possible. I mean, get your fitness levels up, and I think it's more to finish first. You must finish, and that's the kind of mentality that you need to adopt, as opposed to being a hard charger in sprint racing. This is an endurance race, so you've got to finish races to finish first.
And running on gravel as opposed to tarmac?
I suppose car control comes with in all categories. You know, from karting through to production cars, single-seaters, you get that element of car control. And I think that on gravel, it's just getting used to the four-wheel drive for me, as opposed to two-wheel drive, front or rear-wheel drive. Yeah, I've done one test session and seem to adapt quite quickly. I think it's going to be a good season.
A number of privateers will contest the championship in a variety of Toyota models. Former Class E champions Hugo de Bruyn and his father Jaap will be in action in the ex-Marc Cronier Toyota Hilux. Benoni-based Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst will be a force in the ex-de Bruyn Class E Hilux. Father and son, Cliff and Louis Weichelt, are building a new N1 4x4 Bosel Hilux 3.4 V6. And husband and wife, Marius and Tracy van Vieren, have swapped their Land Rover for a new Class E Bosel N1 4x4 Toyota Hilux 2.7i. Lichtenberg 200 winners, Hein Mullmann and Cecil Fincham, will be contesting the championship in the S. Kassikatsier Castrol Toyota Hilux 3-litre KZTE. And based on recent performances in regional championship events, they could well spring a few surprises in Class E. Ford Racing's challenge will come from Neil Woolridge and Ken Schalthammer in the Class T Ford Racing Ranger, in which they won last year's Carnival City Casino 400. Former Class E champions Manfred Schroeder and Jack Peckham from the Pietermaritzburg district, who move up to Class D in a Ranger 4-litre V6. And development squad Bapumze Rubuluza and Kulile Bakaliza from Pietermaritzburg in a Class E Ranger 2.5 turbo diesel.
I think we're going to see a lot more changes in the results. I think we're going to see a couple of Class D cars right at the top of the field. And I think we're in for a very, very exciting year. Off-roading is looking very, very healthy with full manufacturer's participation. We see Class D this year as a learning curve for us. It's a totally new car, a new project, new everything to us. So although we're expecting great things from this car, it is a learning curve for us. This is the new 4-litre engine, which is a first time in South Africa for Ford Motor Company. It's an engine which was built in Cologne in Germany, but doesn't come to South Africa in any other form. It's mainly used in America. So it's the first time that it's ever been used in the Ford Ranger. Ford are very excited, and so are we, about the new 4-litre Ford Ranger, and we've got great expectations for it. It's probably going to be the biggest engined car in this Class D class. We're expecting the horsepower to be in the region of 250 horsepower with a restrictor. And again, the compression ratio needs to be restricted to 10.5, as in all the classes.
Yes, we've been involved in rallying, firstly as a service team for one of our mates, and then we got involved with driving for about 2 seasons now. And I can tell you we've learned a lot from that. We've learned a lot about handling, we've learned a lot about endurance as well, which I think will benefit us a lot when it comes to off-road, knowing that you have to drive for finishing more than driving for the first place to start with. And we're hoping we'll develop from there. So we've had the basic skills from rallying, and we're hoping to apply them across here.
Husband and wife, Arthur and Lorraine Roberts, will be in action in their newly built Class T Fury Ford Ranger, while Dirk van Reenen and Ian Palmer have acquired the ex-Zane Pierce High-Q Ford Ranger to race in Class E. Nissan Motorsport will again enter 3 Nissan hardbody pickups in Class T for reigning champions Hannes Probler and Richard Leek, 2001 champions Janelle de Villiers and Francois Jordan, and 2002 champion Duncan Foss, who will have a new co-driver following the retirement of Mike Griffith.
Well, we've got 3 Class T cars, which one of them will be a new car to the South African scene, which is actually the car that Shinazuka used in the Dakar last year. And we've got Hannes's car from last year, which won the championship, totally rebuilt top to bottom. And we have Duncan's car from last year, which again is totally rebuilt top to bottom. But the challenge has been quite a big one. Within the Class D program, we've got an extensive privateer program with the GBS team, the BB Auto team, and of course Alfie Cox driving the Super Group car. So we're really well supported in D, and we're going to be putting a little more effort into D to try and help these guys during the year and introduce some more performance goodies as the years go on. So we're looking for quite a good year within D. In E, we have Niels van der Walt with the turbo diesel car, and we've got Yuri Duplessis within the BB Auto team. So we've got a nice, strong lineup there.
I think the competition is going to be a lot tougher this year. I think Janil and Duncan has got something to prove, because I've nearly won everything last year. So, but we're going to try and show them, and I think it's going to be, I'm looking forward to this year. I think we did very well last year to win it, but it's totally a new season, and I think the competition is going to be very tough this year with Janil and Duncan to show me that last year they had a lot of, not a lot of luck. So I think it's not going to be easy to win the championship this year again.
The factory entries will be bolstered by a number of top-rated privateers. Alfie Cox and Henny Tersteger, Arnold Chat's car's Nissan Hardbody. Arnold Duplessis and George Baker predict a Nissan Hardbody, and the GBS racing team of reigning Class D champions, Hein Grobler and Gerard Prinsloo. Husband and wife, JP and Linda Augustine, and Johan Gerber and Kutsia Labaskachny will spearhead the Nissan Challenge in Class D.
Last year I took navigator's points and Kutsia took driver's points, but we did change, so I did have a little bit of a drive, but the last 4 races we never changed. It became so competitive that it wasn't time. You couldn't afford the 3 or 4 minutes to change over. And this year it's my turn to drive and Kutsia's turn to navigate again. And he'll have his drives again, but we'll play it by race by race.
On the route to one's destiny, there are many paths to travel. This is one of them. All paths lead to Formula One, but only one man will reach the end. First, the 2004 Malaysian Grand Prix, live and uninterrupted on Supersport on the 21st of March, driven by Michelin.
Sports Talk is breaking free. That's right, Darren is leaving the safety of the studio and hitting the road to find the burning issues and confront the talking points of local and international sport. Join him on his journey. Sports Talk on the road. Sports Talk every Monday on Supersport. Brought to you by Vodacom.
On the route to one's destiny, there are many paths to travel. This is one of them. All paths lead to Formula One, but only one man will reach the end. First, the 2004 Malaysian Grand Prix, live and uninterrupted on Supersport on the 21st of March, driven by Michelin.
Brothers Yuri and Andre Duplessis, BB Auto Nissan Hardbody, and husband and wife Niels and Zelda van der Walt will fly the Nissan flag in Class E. Henry Zermatten and Bodo Schwegler will make a popular return to Class D in the PlayStation Mastercraft Mitsubishi Pajero, while Harrismith-based father and son Johan and Martinez van der Merwe will again campaign their Giovanni Coltrodeo in Class D. Mike Tomset and Brian Haviland will be in the lone Mitsubishi Colt in the highly competitive Class T.
We are running a 3.3 litre V6 Mitsubishi motor modified from the standard 3-litre. Generally, the rest of the vehicle, from a drivetrain point of view, is standard Mitsubishi components, which we hope will give us the reliability which it has in the past to give us good finishes in the events. Our 2004 racing campaign will be supported by our long-standing sponsors, the Daimler Chrysler and Mitsubishi Engineering Division, Sasol, Goodyear Tyres, and AK Stoneguards, our mother company. Our objective for 2004 is to finish all the events consistently with the reliability of our Mitsubishi, to compete in Class T and finish with good points at every event, which will in the end give us a good standing in the championship. Our vehicle, compared to the balance of the competitors in Class T, is not as fast and doesn't have the same suspension ratings, but we will get there on the reliability of our vehicle and consistency.
Arthur van Swiel and Piero Antiga will again campaign their home masters Isuzu KB320 in Class D, and can expect tough competition from Nampo 400 winners Hannes Steyn and Oki Fari in their ex-Mark Corbett Class D Isuzu. Chevrolet will be represented in Class F by the Kopenong Hotel Super Team entry of Andre Buerta and Beans Haydenrecht. Brothers Mark and Stuart Muffet will campaign the Bosel Land Rover in Class D. The introduction of performance restrictors will result in top speeds being reduced, but crews will find that torque improves, which will be an advantage on the tighter, more technical routes that organisers will be laying out, that running costs will be significantly reduced, and that the playing field is levelled, thereby making for closer competition.
Basically, we introduced the restrictors into off-road racing in order to reduce the top-end speed of the motor cars, which was felt to be getting extremely dangerous. It will also assist in the reliability of the motors, in as far that we cannot produce the maximum power we used to produce on these motors, and therefore the stresses are much less and the reliability will be much improved. Also, it will inhibit the amount of money spent on building motors, because you have not got the air to produce the power with it, and therefore the reliability again. The restrictor design is based on a fairly international concept. This is the inlet side. We restrict the airflow through that diameter and the radius that goes in here. Then on this side you have a cone that gradually increases in size and assists in extracting air through the 35mm Venturi.
Well, just to give you a little bit of an input, what we've had to do with the changes on with running a low compression ratio and the restrictor system, what we found is that certain intake manifolds work better than others, and again it's worked cost effectively as well, in that we've actually gone back to standard components on this car, whereas before we had a very sophisticated intake manifold system with 6 big trumpets going down. We've now been able to go back to a standard intake manifold, which obviously cuts costs a lot. And in fact, it's actually improved the power and torque with running a restrictor. So it's proving to be a good system, I think. We wanted to cut the costs in off-road racing and reduce the speeds. And already we're seeing that it's already becoming cost effective. And I think it's been a very good move.
I can't see any negatives about the restrictor. And certainly until we went and did the Dakar program, I was negative at that time because I thought it would take away from the performance and the mystique of the Class T cars. But we've made the restrictor slightly bigger, which will maintain a certain degree of performance. But the cars will still be exciting, I'm sure. The positives are that it reduces engine RPM, which will cut the cost. It enables now competitors with a compression ratio to use pump fuel, which should help them. And I think it will bring the whole performance closer from one manufacturer to another. So we're going to get closer racing, and that's got to be good for the sport.
The AMSA Off-Road Championship Special Vehicle category is developing into a horsepower war, especially for competitors in the hotly contested Class A for unlimited space frame vehicles. And the first event of the season, the Nissan Dealer 400 in Darling on March the 19th and 20th, has the makings of a dogfight. Special vehicles are not subject to the performance restrictor rule in force for production vehicles until June this year. And in the interim, crews will take full advantage of the massive power developed by the various power plants, which include Porsche, Chevrolet LT1, BMW 540 V8, Mitsubishi supercharged 3.5 V6, Nissan V6, Audi V8 and Lexus V8 units fitted to Class A vehicles weighing between 1,000 and 1,400 kilograms. Former Special Vehicle champion Shamir Variawa and co-driver Zayn Mullah returned to competition in the brand new Oven Fresh Biscuits Porter, which is fitted with a Schnitzer BMW 4.6-litre V8 engine, developing over 500 horsepower.
After winning the 2000 championship with the V4 Jimco, in 2001 we raced the V6 Jimco, and then we laid off for 2 years. Reason being we needed a more efficient car. We went out and bought the Porter PR1, which is I think the ultimate in a special vehicle class. As for the car, compared to other imported Sandmasters, the car, I mean, you can see the attention to detail here, work on the front suspension. It's based more on a trophy truck setup in the States. The whole front suspension, it has 22 inches of travel in the front. And as we go here to the rear, the cockpit, it's more spacious than other cars. It's a comfortable driver, is a faster driver, as you know. Then we've got these sway bars that are put onto the rear axle. It's the first time it's been put onto a special vehicle. Then again, it's the same thing as the trophy trucks in the States. They run these sway bars, and we thought it would be a help to us or advantage to us over our terrain, over the other guys. And then we go here to the motor. It's 4.6 BMW X5. It's obviously worked. Use all carbon fiber air ducts. It's carbon fiber trumpets. There's a lot of carbon fiber work in the car. And we go to the transmission. We're using a 4-speed Fortin gearbox for the time being. We were hoping to run the 5-speed sequential gearbox for this race, but unfortunately not. We'll try it in the next race. Yeah, better braking, a whole lot. As for the paint job, there's no spark in off-road racing, so we're bringing the spark back into off-road racing.
The Oven Fresh Biscuits team will be bolstered by a Scat Chevrolet V6 engine Jimco, to be driven by Sam Mullah and Zahir Badania. Last year's Toyota 1000 Desert Race winners, John Weir-Smith and Jeff Minute, will again be in action in the completely rebuilt Class A Kopanong Hotel Super Team Jimco, which is fitted with a BMW 540 V8 motor.
I think it was a combination of things. Firstly, I think we bit off more than we could chew with the amount of cars that we put together, trying to grow too quickly, trying to do too many things, and a lack of discipline, a lack of organization. Few problems with technical issues regarding motors, cooling, things like that. But we've addressed most of these issues now. We've built new workshops. We've got quite a few disciplines in place. We've got a lot of good individuals that we've now taken on. And hopefully we're going to do things right this year. I think last year we sat in a situation where we were never really ready or tested or anything for a race. It was just lack of preparation. This year we'll have the cars ready a week before the race. We've got our own test track out here now, so we don't have to travel and go too far to go and test and sort of iron out any problems which we have from time to time. The staff disciplines are in place, and things are really working nicely. The guys are putting in the hours. We've taken on appies as well, which we're in the process of doing a little bit of training, so they can assist with the build process. Well, the privateers are throwing quite a lot of money into sport now. We've got a tongue that's now taken on a new motor with a whole lot of horsepower, and I hope he can control it in the dirt. Brandon's done a fantastic job with BAT. He's had the resources. He's had a lot of the disciplines that were in place and the time, obviously, to do it as a full-time job. And he's really done well, and I take my hat off to the team. I think the more competition that we have within the privateers and the more money that's thrown at the sport, it's going to create a lot of opportunities from corporate sponsor point of view. And I think competition's healthy.
The decision to move to these new premises here near the Kopanong Hotel was a team decision based on our restructure of the team and our very exciting appointment of Rob Knight, our new workshop manager. And he lives here on the premises, so we have somebody 24 hours a day to look after the cars and oversee them. And with our team of mechanics that we now have and our new appies, it was decided to put it into our own home. And there is no other business here, there's no other business that operates from here. It's solely for the exclusive use of the super team, and we're very excited for the prospects ahead. We've decided to take a conservative approach this year to it in terms of our lineup. We are going to only run 3 cars initially for the first part of the season, as opposed to 4 that we ran last year. And that's to give our team an opportunity to prepare the cars properly and get them in a position that they will last the race, finish the race, and at all costs somewhere in the top 3. We have decided, however, in the later part of the year that we'll add an extra car, but the final decisions on that haven't been made. So we'll keep it conservative and keep it positive. It was put to me that we go into Class T, which, as everybody knows, is a very competitive class. That is basically factory teams that are competing in that class. And as a newcomer, from a driving point of view, we felt that it wasn't necessary to have that kind of pressure. We're running the Chevy, Beans and ourselves, to be part of the team and to enjoy it. And we don't feel that it's necessary to have that kind of pressure. We're happy with the exposure that we're getting. The fact that we're now enjoying it on our own, or perhaps with 1 or 2 other cars, is really a personal decision, and we're just going to run it, at least for this year, in Class F.
To find some support.
Quick hands needed. Townsend, like a thief in the night. The man was tackled without the ball.
They drive him over. Flips it up.
Here's a chance. Oh, cheeky, audacious, outrageous. This man is a serious fight rider. Racing towards the line. It is going to be close. It is going to be a desperate spin for the line.
Don't stop. Whatever it takes. You have to carry on. Over the line. Whatever happens.
Kenilworth Summer Fashions. It's a typical summer's day at the racecourse. Veronique looks stunning in a sexy slither. Gabrielle is in bouncy black. Callista wears a big fancy hat.
And here's Angus wearing a brilliant Pierce Stradom.
Fun, fashion and fillies. The 2004 J&B Met. Nowhere else but Supersport. The Fillies fly on Saturday the 3rd of April. A Gold Circle racing event. Sponsored by J&B.
2003 Nissan Dealer 400 and Oven Fresh Biscuits 500 winners Atang Mahanani and Mike Stangl have opted for a Chevrolet LT1 V8 engine in the Total Jimco. And if past performances are anything to go by, they're strong candidates for the championship crown.
We initially had a very good start in the 2003 season. As you know, we won the race in Cape Town. We came first in specials. We didn't have any problems. And thereafter, in Sugar Belt in Durban, we had engine problems. I'm not mechanics-wise. I don't know what happened, but I know that we spent a lot of effort, time, invested a lot of funds into trying to get it right. Nothing really came right. The third race was the desert race. We shorter ring and pinion in the gearbox. We're also doing very well at the time. It came the African race, 4th race in the season. We won the race. We didn't have problems then. We came first in specials. Thereafter, we had problems after problems after problems. I don't really know what happened, to the point where we nearly discandled the car and put it behind us. We're really tired of it, and we tried to fix the problem. To date, we haven't found the problem. We had to reconfigure the engine and strip the whole harness from back to front, because we strongly believe the problem was electrical. We couldn't find the problem, and therefore we decided to just get rid of everything that we had and start all over again. Our plans are very simple, and history speaks for itself. If the car does not let us down, we'll drive it within my ability, and obviously the car can do more than what I can do. But when we finish a race, we don't just finish, we finish well. And I'm confident that with the reconfigurations, improvements we've done to the car this year, we seem to be going to have a lot of reliability. And if that is the case, if my statement holds, we will do very well in the year. And like every other year, we start with good intentions and good spirits, and hopefully we'll end it in the same manner.
Two other Botswana-based Chevrolet powered special vehicles will swell Class A. Rashid Noble and nephew Faisal Noble will again be in action in the 440 horsepower Chevrolet V6 powered Abe's Furnishers STC Chemicals Aceco, with nephew Zane Noble and Richard Hope entered in the Chevrolet LT1 powered race car. Frikkie Botha and Melville Priest acquired the 2002 championship-winning Lexus V8 powered Jimco from Greg Harvey towards the end of last year, and soon got to grips with the unique handling of the A-arm suspension chassis after previously racing an aging trailing arm suspension Raceco chassis. Winner of last year's inaugural Toyota Dealer 400 in Leidenburg, Mark Corbett, and new co-driver Gavin Kelsey will again be in action in the Audi V8-powered Century Property Developments BAT, in which they won the special vehicle category in the recent Nampo 400. Clint Gibson and Mike Brown made their Class A debut in the Audi V8-powered Presidium Financial Services BAT late last year, and went on to lead the Toyota Dealer 400 only to wrong slot meters from the finish and be beaten across the line by mere seconds by Mark Corbett. The KwaZulu-Natal-based crew is a definite contender for the Special Vehicle Championship. Nissan V6 engines are fitted to a number of BAT racing chassis, with the main contender for the championship title being reigning Special Vehicle co-driver champion Brandon Harkus in the Adrenalized Corporate Entertainment BAT that he will share with Achim Bergman.
2004 Special Vehicle Championship, we've got 9 cars competing, 2 in Class B, 7 in Class A. Last year, definitely the BATs were the ones to beat. I don't think anything's going to change this year. Guys have worked hard on their brand new cars from last year, and they've dialed them in a bit better. A lot more time testing. We're looking forward to the year. Yeah, this year I have a new navigator, Achim Bergman. We did the Lichtenberg 200. We started in pole, and that's tough for him because not knowing the route. First time on a route schedule, and all credit to him, he didn't get me lost once. So the pressure's on him at the first race, but I think he'll come through. What do I think of restrictors? Yes and no. I think there's some good advantages to it and definitely some bad advantages. Some of the top formulas in the world run restrictors. Formula One has got restrictions on it. World Rally cars all got restrictors on it. Downside to this year, a lot of guys in this country, the reason for Class A is it's an unlimited class. Guys can build whatever machine they want. They can have 800 horsepower, they can have whatever they like. And I think that's going to be a small problem to some people, especially the guys who've invested hugely in expensive motors from America, big horsepower. Now all of a sudden those engines become completely wrong package for the deal, and they're going to find themselves having to throw away $30,000 engines, and I don't think they're going to swallow that pill too well. Although restrictors slowing the cars down every year is the same. Guys coming out with more horsepower, faster cars, and all that happens is the faster cars, more horsepower, broken down earlier in the race. 50 Ks, none of them left. So it's going to be a good and bad thing from my point of view. It suits BAT cars. We're very light. We're 300 kilograms lighter than most of our competitors. So if they do bring restrictors, we definitely look good.
Nissan Sugarbelt 400 winner Gerald Mundell and new co-driver Kingsley Nurden in the BAT are also contenders for the title.
What a finish!
Newcomers Philip Vosloo and Evan Hutchinson will be in action in the adrenalised corporate entertainment BAT, with last year's debutants Dani Morea and Andrew Utterson entered in the intelligence BAT. Nashua Mobile Racing's Terence Marsh and Trevor Eyre regarded last year as a development year for the Mitsubishi 3.5 V6 supercharged Jimco, and will be launching a full onslaught on the 2004 championship. Class S for space frame chassis fitted with trailing arm or beam front suspensions could pose a threat to some in the Class A ranks, with the crew lineup reading like a roll of honour at an old boys reunion. 3 crews who between them have won dozens of races and 7 championships over a span of 20 years will do battle. 2-time Special Vehicle Championship winners Richard Chilling and Ashley Thorne will be a force in a Nissan V6-powered Plastotech Raceco, but can expect a tough fight from 5-time Special Vehicle Champion, 3 times as a driver and twice as a co-driver, Bux Carolyn and Archie Rutherford in the Buick V6-engined Nashua Mobile Racing Raceco, and Nardis Alberts and Colin Hunter in the Porsche-powered Rapsa Raceco.
The reason we're here really is about Logwood Ranch, a home for Down syndrome children. I guess whatever the 2 of us do, they're going to be the winner. One thing's for sure, I'm going to give this guy a hiding. He's going to get taught a few driving lessons this year.
Yeah, well, we took this bet over lunch in December, and the bet is R1,000 per race, and the loser pays the bet, which will go to Sunfield Homes, Logwood Ranch. And I'm quite confident that I can beat old Fats here. We've been training since December. I've turned down a fight with Mike Skitter and Jimmy Abbott because of Schilling. I want to take him on, so I think the money will be going to a worthy cause, and I'm looking forward to giving him my hiding in his life. I just hope he can go the distance, that's all.
Look, I mean, I just want to say one thing, at the weigh-in I was a bit heavier than him. He didn't notice it, but I have to give him a bit of a chance. You know, he's driving a car with an automatic gearbox, a little bit lazy. I give him 4 years too. Watch.
Look, he goes 40 Ks, I think I'll be proud of him, but he's going to pay out quite a lot of money. At least it's going to a good cause, and I'm really looking forward to whipping his little ass.
Yeah, he turned 50 about 2 weeks ago. Obviously, it's got to him, man. The qualifying is 40 kilometers, but catch your wake up. Come back to the proper racing.
Botswana businessmen Mohammed Noor and reigning Class S co-drivers champion Mohammed Mulsin will again be in action in the Super Veg Raceco Porsche, in which they won the class on several occasions in 2003. But will have to contend with reigning Class S drivers champion Nick Gosler and co-driver Warren Bowie in the Men's Clinic International Kopanong Hotel Super Team Raceco Porsche.
The preferences are definitely with cars these days. I think the transition, they're 2 totally different sports. The 2-wheel sport is an individual sport. You prep your bike beforehand and you go and race, and you're on your own for 6 hours or 8 hours in a day. In the 4-wheel sport, you're with other people, there's a team that you rely on, and you have a navigator that you can chat to whilst you're going. Competition was very tough. In the end, I felt a little bit deflated because Mohammed and myself didn't actually get to race in the last race. But ultimately, I won the championship, and that's what counts.
Class B for 2-litre powered space frame vehicles will benefit from the introduction of 2 new models in 2004. East Rand-based constructor Hendrik Fourie from Zarco has sold 6 vehicles to date.
The philosophy of Zarco comes a few years way back when I started racing with a few friends of mine. I experienced the sport to be very expensive. I therefore went through a process of designing a car which is affordable, which brings affordable racing to the bigger public. It brings a family together, brothers, it can bring a father and son together and can give them the opportunity to race at a national level at a more affordable price. 99% of all my components can be bought locally. I manufacture my own suspension arms, the bearings, bearing hubs, all those components are locally available and brings the cost of having fun dramatically down. On one thing I did not sacrifice, and that is the safety aspect. I import all the calipers and I import the safety harnesses, because in safety you cannot sacrifice at all. A few of the design aspects that I had to bring into, first of all, safety. The full chassis is chromoly 4130, normalized. I use a TIG welding process, which is a very good process of welding. Furthermore, all my components are WorkCAD-CAM designed and I use laser cutting. Therefore, in future, if anybody has an item to be replaced, it's a buy off the shelf and it fits immediately.
Zarco Light models will be campaigned by Glenn Clarkson and Matthew Ludick, Corporate Off-Road Entertainment Zarco Light, Warren Clarkson and Kim Dixon, Corporate Off-Road Entertainment Zarco Light, John Thompson and Clinton McNamara, brothers Hendrik and Louis Fourie, and newcomers Rudy and Pierre van Graan. Willie Prinsloo from Ultimo Cars has built and sold 8 racing versions of his revolutionary motorcycle-engined vehicles to local and international customers. 3 Ultimo Dominators will be entered, and Willie Prinsloo and George Parkhazen will each race 1100 Honda Blackbird-powered Ultimo Dominators, and David White will race a 1000 Honda VTR Firestorm-powered version. Reigning special vehicle champion Phil Nell, Look AT Truggy, will be under pressure from these newcomers, as well as some of the established crews, to repeat his 2003 championship-winning feat. But sheer consistency and immaculate vehicle preparation should carry the day for him.
You've got to do a couple of things right if you want to have success in off-road racing. I would think in any type of racing it's more or less the same. First of all, I think you must be pretty fit, racing fit, like bicycle fit, but you must be able to enjoy the whole race. If you can't enjoy the whole race, you start to make mistakes, and then it doesn't take long and you're out anyway. And then the preparation work, I think you just about finish the race from the workshop. So that is where the whole thing starts. And the more technical and professional help you can get, the better and the easier it makes you to finish a race. Now, if you can't finish the race, then it doesn't really mean a thing, because you only get points for finishing. Now, we've got the view that we want to go and enjoy the whole race, which obviously then gets to a point where you've got to finish if you want to enjoy the whole race. And if you can finish all the races, and you can then, of course, with the competition that you've got today, you've got to drive hard. You've got to be on the edge or a little bit over the edge. And you're going to have your flat wheels, you're going to have your OOPSA and everything that goes with it. But if you drive well, if you drive competitive, and you look after your car, and you do your preparation work well, and you fit, you're going to have a nice race and a nice season. I think as far as the planning for the season goes, it will be, again, to go out there and finish the races and do as well as possible. We've done some development on the car. It's quite a bit better suspension-wise, and a couple of nice things that we've done. So it will be nice to compete out there with the guys. We are looking at a new car, but obviously the car must be quite a bit better than this one, otherwise we won't be interested. So they're busy looking at the car, and they're busy putting a thing together. If it's better than this car, then we will buy it. Otherwise, we'll stick to this car for another season or what. It's a small car, it tows nicely, and you enjoy it, or we enjoy it quite a bit to go out there and race with it. So the competition gets tougher, but with the development you do, the car also gets faster, and we can still compete with them. Not always with these big guys and with the nice cars that's coming out, but we can still enjoy our race and enjoy our sport. Look, it's not always easy to compete with the big guys and with the very expensive cars and the big budget boys, but it's still nice to go out and compete with them, although it's going to be tougher from this season onwards because there's a considerable point difference between the first and the last guys. But it's still nice to go out there and give them a run for their money, and they must also look after their cars because otherwise we're going to take their points. And that goes for any Class B car, and I still think it's, for us, it's nicer to race in Class B. And we're going to give them a go this year.
Thursday on Engine Premier Soccer. Junaid Hartley, has he retired or is there more to come from this gifted player? On the one soccer show that gets you up close and personal with the stars of the PSL. The one show that brings you all the Diski, Shibobo and Deltova. Engine Premier Soccer, exclusive to Supersport, every Thursday at 7:30 on Supersport 3. Proudly brought to you by Engine. With us, your number one.
Former Class B champions Marcus Taylor and Mark de Chalane will rely on the John Rowe-built JRE. And Warren Morton and Andrew Davis in action in the Bush Pig. And Will Battershill and Reg Sutton behind the wheel of a brand new John Rowe-built Challenger powered by Nissan Motor. Veterans Henry Kirstein and Renier Jooster, Atlas Copco Bat, can always be relied upon to put up a good performance. And if Lady Luck is on their side, they'll be a difficult team to beat. Ernst Corbett and Warwick Goosen will race a Century Property Development's Bat in Class B, which brings the Bat lineup in Classes A and B up to 8 vehicles. Hamish and Alistair Stubbs, Corporate Off-Road Entertainment Viper, have got to grips with their new car and have the talent and the perseverance to pull off the odd class win or two during the 2004 season. Father and son, Rob and Gareth Walk, will share driving duties in the single-seater Super Pave Mighty Mag, which was plagued by power steering problems throughout last season, but hopefully the problems have now been resolved. On the face of it, the competition in all the classes will be stiff, and off-road racing fans can expect to see some of the closest racing ever in all the classes. While horsepower may be the name of the game in the special vehicle category, it is more than likely a case of the crews with the most brain power and staying power emerging as the winners when the season gets underway with the Nissan Dealer 400 in the Western Cape on March 19 and 20. The prologue to determine starting positions for the main event starts at 1 o'clock on Friday, with the main event starting at 8 a.m. on Saturday. The 172-kilometre route, laid out by the Cape Peninsula Motorcycle and Car Club, which competitors will complete twice, offers varied terrain that will be a true test for man and machine. Highlights of the Nissan Dealer 400, round one of the ABSA Off-Road Championship, will be broadcast on various Supersport channels, starting on March the 30th, 2004. This preview of the ABSA Off-Road Championship was proudly presented by ABSA. For fast, flexible vehicle finance, contact your nearest ABSA branch or call 0860 669 669 or visit ABSA.